You're listening to the Full Gambit podcast with J. Michael Phoenix. Straight talk. No BS. No BS. Inviting you to get off your ass and talk to somebody.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Full Gambit podcast. You're listening to Jay. I have a good friend of mine. We don't get us together as much anymore. Usually when we do get together, it's over food and some dominoes. And if memory serves correct, I have a winning record in that.
Well, you've got bad memory, Jay. You need to go.
Well, Christmas coming.
Because you talk a good game. No, if we listen to your mouth, you would think you're winning. But we know in reality, Jay, your mouth goes more than your play. So ain't nothing happening.
And there aren't many people that could come on my own show and talk to me the way that he's talking to me right now. But
it's the truth, you know what I mean? What you can do.
The truth is actually free.
It's the truth, man. I tell the truth. You know it.
I am joined by Greg Collie, a.k.a. the Cookie Cater, a.k.a. 2022 top businessman.
Oh, Lord. Why you don't stop?
Hey, am I lying? Are you not one of the 7 top businesses in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, according to the SBDC and the Ministry of Economic Affairs?
Well, according to them, but according to my bank account, I ain't sure what to say. You know what I mean? I just being honest.
It's two different things. It's two different truths. But you know what? I guess from a consistency level, being a top client of theirs, showing, I guess, fortitude, will, pushing through tough economic time and expanding, because you expanded in Corona. How did you pull it off?
Well, it wasn't easy. You're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. Yeah. It's never easy. People from the outside, they see, I guess the progress that you're making. They figure, well,
they assume.
They assume things are just going so well.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, things at one point were going pretty well, in the beginning. But going through the pandemic was really tough. Luckily, like you mentioned, through SBDC, we were able to secure some funding. Yeah. Of course, it's a loan. Don't think they just give you money.
No gift.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Bahamians. Let me clarify. There was one that was a mix.
That was the
emergency one.
Yeah, the relief.
So part of it was a grant,
right?
But the majority of it was a loan,
right? And since you brought that up, that's what we actually were able to use some of to open the 3rd location on Prince Charles. Now,
good stuff.
It was partially a grant, but the majority of it was a loan.
Yeah.
And so I just want people to know, because they see, this person gets funding and SBDC funded this.
You have to pay back.
Yes, it's a loan with interest. And so don't think that, they just out there giving people money, to open businesses.
Right.
It's a loan with interest that you have to pay back, and pay back on time, because these people be behind you for your financials and all of that good stuff. So
listen
it's
to
just
me.
Giving out money.
One of the things, and I'm a 48 laws of power person, despise the free lunch and do it on your own. And one of the things that I prided myself on when we started Boost and I started my production company, I did it on my own. I didn't have to go to the bank to get anything. I didn't have a line of credit or anything like that. But Dorian happened and then COVID happened, and you needed to.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You needed to. So once we took that money, and I have a very good, I don't even know what to call it. I call her my consultant from the SBDC, Deborah, right?
Well, we have the same one, yeah. Deborah's awesome.
Every month, and for the first few months, to give her credit, she did it for me, right? And then the game changed. Deborah said, you got to do it yourself. And I passed it on to...
Oh, you get lucky. She do it for you.
Yeah, she do it.
Deborah, what's happening, Deborah? I mean, you offered Jay to do his one, but everything cool.
No, I was, with the school, it was teaching. I was teaching at the time. I was trying to do the production thing. I was torn, and she was like, Jay, you got to get it done. I'll help you. Send me the numbers. She asked a few questions. I answered it, and she put it in, right? Right. And then after a while, she's like, the training wheel's off. You could do it. So I said, you know what? I'm just an investor. Sure. This is your responsibility. So I handed it off, and it's been done. And then it changed now with the quarterly financials as opposed to the end of year. So now you have your monthly, your quarterly, and your end of year you have to stay on top of. And it's made me sharper. I must say. It was tedious, but I understand why.
Yes, it must be done.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm sure you're like me. I don't like tedious office work, numbers, putting in paperwork, all that. I can't stand that kind of stuff. I'm a hands-on, practical,
Make the product, sell the product, build the business. Yes. That's me.
I hate all that tedious stuff, but it's extremely necessary. Yeah. You can't run a business without it, and that's why a lot of businesses fail today, is because they don't stay on top of their numbers. And if your numbers get on top of you, then you go out of business. Yeah. And so it has been a major help. Mm-hmm. I don't like to do it, but it's a must. It's a necessary. I don't want to say evil, but it's necessary. And I've been doing it. Now Deborah probably gonna run me because I ain't gonna lie, I just be late.
Everybody. I think in this culture, I think we are last minute because it's like, again, like I just sent this in.
Well, you know what it is? My problem is I am in, this year has been a tough year because I found myself back in my business too much.
Right.
There was a point before COVID.
You had separated yourself.
Yeah, I did a decent job of separating myself. I put people in place and I was able to remove myself, not micromanage so much. Mm-hmm. But this year has been, it's been tough, coming out of, like I said, COVID. And then we had like human resources issues all year. We had people leaving. And it was a lot of stuff that took place this year that had me inside the shop doing a lot of stuff that I shouldn't be doing. Right. I'm just now starting to get back to removing myself from that and placing people in the right places so that I can do what I'm supposed to do as the owner of the business, which is deal with all the numbers and all of that stuff, focus on growing the business. Yes. And so I'm starting to now get back into that.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Education isn't my thing. Mm-hmm. I love to mentor. Mm-hmm. I would guide you down the road. I could build it and let it go on its own organically. That's my thing. Mm-hmm. And having to step in because, again, human resources issues, having to step in and fill in the gap here mm-hmm. and there, it takes you away from so much because with our time, mm-hmm. you could be doing so much else somewhere else to the benefit. But that's the nature of the business, right? Yeah. And this is the thing that people don't see. A lot of people head count. And they were like, "Oh, you selling cookies for what? $2?" They don't look at ingredients. They don't look at staffing. They don't look at gas. They don't look at overhead.
The worst thing you could do is listen to somebody that's never run a business or had any experience running a business.
The keyboard CEOs.
Yeah, because it's like I say, the consumer just looks at a business mm-hmm. and they see top line. They see, plenty of people inside this place, and they selling this. They making all kind of money. Right. But they, like you said, is so much going, especially in our industry. Well, you in education. I'm in food, right? Right. Food, the food industry is known for having slim margins. Yes. You understand? Yes. And so it's so much overhead, there's so much expenses. At the end of the day, if you take home 10%, you're doing great. Mm-hmm. If you have a 10% net profit, mm-hmm. that's pretty good in the food industry.
And for the last 2 years, to make a net profit has been nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible. Your businesses that you see are open today that survived the onslaught of COVID, the lockdowns, Mini Minus saying whatever he wants to say on any given day, like they took huge losses.
Hold on, what'd you say, Mini Minus?
Mini Minus.
I heard it right.
It took you a while.
No, I heard it and I was like, that wasn't a slip. I know Jay. He intentionally said that. So I just had to acknowledge that you said Mini Minus. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's been extremely, extremely tough. And so if you do the math, let's say there's a business is making $500,000 gross, right?
Gross.
Someone here has $500,000. Oh, that's $500,000.
Yeah, no.
10% of that, which is like I said, if it's great under great conditions, mm-hmm. you make 10%. Right. That's $50,000.
Yes.
$50,000. That's a very good salary for somebody in the Bahamas. But that's what the business would take, and that's doing well.
And you know what the sad thing is? I've realized the higher that I've climbed, the more money that I've grossed, mm-hmm. right? Because I haven't fully made. I've grossed a lot. Mm-hmm. 50 grand ain't a lot of money.
Hell no.
It ain't a lot of money.
Hell no. Especially if you got children like us.
And my children have expensive things. And that's another part of the conversation I want to get to, because mm-hmm. finding that work-life balance, being a business owner, because we're no longer entrepreneurs. We passed that stage now. We're business owners. How do you find that balance?
I hear a lot of people ask this question. It's like, Everybody trying to find the perfect balance, right?
What is the perfect balance?
There's none.
Exactly.
There's none. It depends on the person. You have to ask yourself, what's the perfect balance for me?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And that depends on what you value most. Okay.
Right.
So if you value, your family time, spending time with your family the most, then you might want to have, more time with them or allocate more time to spend with your family. Mm-hmm. If you really are into growing the business, you're looking bigger picture, macro, what it can do for you and your generations to come, then you may want to allocate more time to grow in the business. It just depends on what works for you. It's never going to be this perfect balance unless you probably get to a point to where you have enough money, if there's such a thing. Some people think they can never have enough, but if you feel comfortable enough with your finances to where you can say, all right, I ain't going away. Let me go play with the kids. Let me go do these things with the kids. But when you're at the stage that we're at right now, which is the building stage, you're just trying to build, it's going to be tough to have a healthy balance with your family because so much of your time has to go into focusing on the business.
And you know what? And I think I'm probably going to get in problems by even uttering this name.
Go ahead, man.
Right? I peruse and I'm always on YouTube and I'm seeing the shorts all the time. And one of the things, and you can't avoid it, is Andrew Tate.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And you know what? I didn't agree with the cancellation of him because I didn't see anything that he did that was so grossly wrong that deserved that level of cancellation. Mm-hmm. But he said something that hit me. He was like, a father's role in his family is not necessarily to be there 100% of the time, but to have 100% impact on the child or children. Mm-hmm. And how that is done is basically being available for key moments that the child need or deems necessary, and still providing economic relief and future prosperity, right? So if you work 18-hour days and your child sees you do that and understands and appreciates that, you've made an impact without being there 100% of the time. Because if you're there 100% of the time, y'all probably poor. In his words, a brokey.
Or,
and that's why I love him, because he says things so sensible, and then he brings the comic relief and can destroy it. Yeah, at the tail end.
I agree. There are, and I don't care how people feel, but there are some things that I agree with Andrew what he says. There are some things that I disagree with. Right. And again, I say all the time, you should never agree with everything anybody says.
Exactly.
You shouldn't even agree with yourself all the time.
That is true.
You understand? So yes, I agree with some of the things he says. Some of the things he says I don't agree with. But I said or because, again, what about, let's give an example, and this is probably the exception, but the person that started their business young, early, they built it, let's say by 30, 35 years old, multi-millionaire. They have the funds.
True.
And then they decide to have kids.
Right.
They could be in their kids' life as long as they want because now
they have it automated. It's easier.
They already have made the finances.
The sacrifices.
They've already done all that work to support their family, and so they have the option. And that's what people, most people like me, this is why we get into business, is for the freedom to have options.
Yes.
You want to make money, so you have options.
Listen,
you understand?
It was September when we opened up for school. It's very few places I could eat breakfast from it, if I eat breakfast, right? So Acropolis is one of those places. They have a nice tuna, that's fine. Walked there September, closed for 30 days. I was like, and not because some health situation happened or they're going under and they're hurting. They chose to. They took 30 days off to go on vacation.
Wow. The entire company?
The entire company.
Wow.
Not the executives.
Right.
The entire company. And I'm like, I want that.
How do you feel? Let me tell you how I feel about it.
I want that. I want to be able to go on vacation for 30 days, random month, and come back on the day that I said I'm coming back, and it's business as usual.
Well, let me tell you why
I love that.
I have nothing against Acropolis. They run their business. They do what they do. I don't like, because when you go in there and it was closed, I know you was bugged.
I was hot.
I know you was bugged because you go in there hungry, thinking about that breakfast.
And I walked.
Okay.
I walked there. I walked from the school there.
So that's why I don't like that, because it disappoints the customer, right?
But the customers understood because guess what, baby? We right back there.
They understood. They was mad.
They was mad at the moment.
Yeah.
No negative reviews. I didn't see anything negative about them online.
I said I ain't gonna say they understood. But they like the food so much that when they open back up, they can be right back.
Yeah.
But I don't, because like there's another company, I ain't calling name. I don't like calling companies' names. But there's a major wholesaler over here.
Okay.
That the entire business shuts down for lunch. The entire business shuts down for an hour. If you need something.
That's several of them.
If you need something, you can't get it.
Not the ones who sell like the paper products.
No, this is a different one.
Because the one with the paper product, that annoys me. Because I forget about it every single time. And I always get there on lunch.
That is my issue with it. And I mean, call me a capitalist or whatever you want to call me. But I just would prefer that you have a system in place
to allow certain people to go on shift.
Right. Yeah. You organize it so that some people can go and the place can remain operational for customers like us that need what we come for. You understand?
You got that sweet money, boy.
Yeah, but hey, to each his own. You know what I mean?
It's weird. I get it, but it's annoying still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I hate that annoyance because there'll be times when you really need to go get something and they close.
What would, because we're close in age, I think. Like, you're, yeah.
I like 26. I don't know what you.
Bullshit. And I love the fact this is a podcast. And so I'm like, hey, Erica, come and get me. That is absolute bullshit. You have a bald head. I have a receding headline. We're in our 30s.
Bald is a style, I choose to bald my hair.
Did you?
I mean, yeah. After my hair started to go, I chose to take off the rest. You understand? That's a choice, Jay. That's a choice.
So we're in our mid-30s. Because I'm 37. I'm not shaming my age.
We're almost the same age.
I wear it with a badge on, right? Yeah. What would you say? Because I know eventually this is going to get out there and people are going to see it. What would you tell your 22, 23-year-old self with the hindsight of being I would say a successful businessman now and going through and some of the mistakes. And people are like, I hate to go and correct my mistakes. But there will be people that will look up to you, that will want to be in your position, and you could give them a genuine help up.
Well, this is what I tell people all the time. Anytime I've been asked this question recently, I've told them what we spoke about earlier. Always be on top of your numbers from the jump. And that's the one thing I wasn't, doing in the beginning.
Right.
Was
that's a cultural thing.
But it's a problem.
It's a bad cultural thing.
This is why a lot of businesses don't make it.
Yeah.
It's because you don't keep track of it. I would tell them, listen, document everything from the start. Keep track of everything. Don't procrastinate. Stay focused. Don't get distracted. Because listen, we're in the era of distraction right now.
Massive distraction.
Like I told you before we started, I am weaning myself. I'm almost completely off.
Personally, not for the business.
Personally.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm weaning myself off the greatest drug of our generation. And that is social media attention.
Gee.
That is destroying a lot of people and they don't even know it. Slowly. They spend so much time on everybody on their phone. You drive on the streets.
Yeah.
What you say? People,
I see it.
They on the street driving like this. Everybody can't get off their phone. And so stay focused because it's a major distraction. And even now, to this day, I have to fight with myself. Like let's say I go to make a business post or, create an ad or something. And I have to open Facebook to do it, right? So I got to open Facebook to go to my Facebook page.
Right.
And what ended up happening?
Distraction.
And these...
one post that just annoys you, like...
These algorithms, listen to me.
Yep. The stalkers, they're not algorithms, they're stalkers.
The people that have designed these algorithms are geniuses, you understand? Because soon as you open it, the first thing that come up there is something that just grasps your attention.
Yes.
And then you just get in the vortex, you start scrolling, and you forget what you're going on there for. I said to be like, come on here to post ad, boy. What you doing? Scrolling.
I have not updated my professional photography Instagram in months. And every single time I say, hey, I'm going to do a dump. I've done so much work. It's time to do a dump. I get on there. I love daddy. I just can't.
Yep.
I just can't escape
Get
it.
distracted. So that's like, stay on top of your numbers from the jump.
Yes.
From the jump.
It's a numbers game.
Always.
Yeah.
Because you have to know, a lot of times you would be losing money and not even know it. Because you've priced your items wrong.
Yeah.
Because you haven't done the math on how much it takes to actually make the product. See, you're looking at, you just, okay, well, we get the flour, the sugar. Okay, I know. But you ain't factoring the labor. You ain't factoring the rent. You ain't factoring the propane. You ain't factoring all of these things. All of these costs are associated with your product. And so you have to make sure that you charge appropriately so you're not losing money. And I would, like Deborah, she put me on to Brian Tracy.
Okay.
Brian Tracy, he's a motivational speaker. Really good.
Okay.
Really good at getting you, keeping you focused, and that's a lot of things. She sent, and I mean, Deborah, look, she's beyond point. She sent me the perfect video that I needed to see right at that moment in time, because it addressed every issue that I had at that moment and every issue that I was struggling with, and that was causing me a lot of stress and pain at the time. And it addressed every single one. And it's a matter of, just being accountable. You know what I mean? Accountability to yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And taking responsibility for your decisions, for everything that's going on, and getting focused and doing what you need to do. So that's what I would tell people. Stay focused. Stay on top of your numbers. Don't get distracted. Keep pushing. That's what I tell my younger self. Don't let none of these things distract you, throw you off course. Don't be stubborn. If you need to make decisions, make it. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination is another thing that I struggle with. Procrastination. Stop procrastinating. If you need to do something,
just do it.
Do it.
Yeah, one of the things that I pride myself on is if you need, one of the difficult things to do is just start. You have to put that first foot out there. Because you could look and you could critically pull everything apart on the sidelines, thinking about what could go wrong, letting the doubt and the failure come, and don't invite the wrong critic in your ass. Because they will talk you.
Plenty of them around. They all over the place.
Listen to me.
And sometimes they're the people closest to you.
Oh yeah. You have to, I feel that you have to audit your social circle in almost in a yearly, right? You have to look, because I feel that your network is your net worth. I personally believe that. And you should never be the smartest person in your circle. Nothing wrong with hanging around with dumb people, but you have to understand your place, your destination, how you're going to get there. And you have to understand that success is like an elevator. Not everybody's going to go all the way to the top. You punch your button. You know where you're going. You can't take everybody with you.
But I look at success more as like a stairway. Because the elevator is, is easy.
Comfortable.
Yeah, it's comfortable. It just goes, you press a button and it goes up. But I look at it more as a stairway.
You got to work,
It's a climb, step by step. And every time there's another, you reach up these steps, you go into small steps. And not everybody wants to take the stairs. No. And so I look at it as more of a stairway as an elevator. Because anybody can take an elevator. But how much people, you go in a resort or wherever they got stairs and an elevator, how much people going on the stairs?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Well, unless you have someplace to be right away and you don't have that millisecond to waste.
Well, that's success, a stairway. Ain't no elevator. But
okay.
Because ain't no shortcut to the top. Ain't no quick zoom and press button. You got to take it step by step. So I look at success as a stairway.
Yeah, I think I just like the elevator aspect because you can't take everybody to the top with you. But I like the stairs because you not everybody.
Yeah, because
not everybody's gonna walk with you.
No, everybody ain't going in there. Everybody going on the stairs in the elevator right here.
You stupid. Crazy.
So ain't nobody trying to put in that kind of work.
No, I remember when you had entrepreneur to entrepreneur. We need to do more of those as well.
I think about, see what happened, Jay. I removed myself. I needed, it was a lot of things that took place when I stopped back in 2018. There's a whole lot of stuff that, was happening at the time and still going on. And I just needed my focus to be elsewhere.
Right.
And so I've been kind of, thinking about getting back into it, but it won't be right now.
Because a lot of that was a lot of
Oh yeah, man. We had a lot of great shows.
Yeah.
We had a whole lot. I enjoyed every minute of it. Great guests like you, and when I look back at how many guests we had, it was so many people we talked to with so many great conversations.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was about a good solid 3 years.
Yeah.
And I started to feel myself like it wasn't as exciting anymore. You know what I mean? I wasn't looking forward to it anymore. And then again, like I say, a lot of stuff happened at the time too. So it just needed a break. away from it. But eventually, I think I'll get back into it. It won't be right now because I still have so many things to do as it pertains to the business that I just can't make that commitment because it is a commitment.
Right.
Like we were speaking before, a lot of people say they want to have a podcast. They think you just show up and talk, which to a degree it is, but it is a lot of work. It's commitment. You have to set a time, a day. You have to do it every time. You have to be consistent with it. You have to come up with topics. Sometimes if you have guests, you have to find guests. So it is a commitment, and I'm not ready to jump back into it yet, but I am, considering it again. So down the line, maybe another couple of years.
Jesus, I thought you were going to say like another couple months. Nigga, you said another couple years?
I didn't, but don't forget what I said at the beginning of the show. When it comes to my bank account, I am not prepared to dive into podcasting again. I got a whole lot to do with my business so that my bank account can match what you introduced me as with all this award-winning business and stuff. But listen, I need my bank account to express that. So that's what I focus on right now.
As a man, because you identify as a man, right?
I swear to God, I almost take this mic off this.
Hey, this is 2022. You have to ask these questions.
No, you don't, Jay. No, you do not. You do not have to ask these questions.
Okay.
You don't.
Okay.
We are not in the United States of America.
We are in the Bahamas.
Yes.
We're in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
It's a different culture.
Where the sun shines on this ball head. All right? So you talked about your bank account matching the notoriety. Right? And I feel that. How much pressure is that?
Pressure.
Personally, personal pressure, when you sit down to yourself, because we all, as men, I don't know if you do it, but you retreat to your inner mind and you have an outlook, you have a number, you see the stresses, you see the obstacles, and you have to navigate. And I don't think a lot of people could, not people, but females, understand that level of pressure. How do you deal with it?
It is a degree of pressure, and it's more so. It's not from anyone applying pressure to me per se, but it's more, be tough on ourselves. It's
societal in itself.
Yeah, it's more me, you know what I mean? Like, I know I could do more and should be doing more, and so I really put a pressure on myself because I have a family.
Right.
I'm a husband.
That's a multiplier.
Yeah, I have a wife, I have children, and so it is pressure in terms of I have to make sure I'm able to provide for them, and that's really my main drive to continue to push and focus and do what I need to do because I have people that depend on me.
Yeah.
And it's not just my immediate family, but I have staff as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait, that is big.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize, if you're a business owner with staff, you're responsible for your employees. Yeah. So you take care of families. Families depend on you. So not just your family, but the families of the people you employ, they depend on you also.
Yeah. This isn't a game. This isn't FTX. No. You're not going to fail and have cush pieces.
No.
They will burn down your place.
Oh yeah. Right? So it is a degree of pressure, but I mean, I can't focus on the pressure or just beat myself up all the time. And that's something I'm trying to stop doing too, because I tend to beat myself up a lot. I don't know how many other people do it, but I tend to beat myself up a lot, and I'm trying to dial that back because you're not going to get anywhere beating yourself up. That's something that's not productive.
Yeah, you're inviting negativity in that frequency, so you will stay on that wheel as opposed to separating yourself, allowing yourself to breathe, and find viable possibilities and solutions to those problems. Right. I had to do the same thing. You had to take a step back, and within my immediate circle, because my wife is always in my ear, right? I had to tell her, you gotta chill out. No, we're not doing that. Don't think because you see this gross coming in right now that we could do this, this, and this. This has to happen here. This has to happen here. And you do have to learn the word no. You have to learn the word no. You have to take time for yourself to figure things out, because it could consume you so quickly and time moves so fast. I don't know if we actually still on a 24-hour clock. I don't know if it's a real thing because everything melts into one.
Yep, for sure. And I'm lucky to have the wife that I have. She's extremely supportive.
Yes, my wife is supportive too, but she annoys the shit out of me sometimes. And I love her to death.
Well, see, but the good thing is with my wife, I don't know if it's just innate, but she knows how to let you know something without being a nuisance.
Right.
Like without nagging.
Yeah.
She knows how to plant seeds.
Greg is calling my wife a nag.
No, you just said she annoys you. Don't put that on
I said
anybody.
annoying, not nag.
What? How does she annoy you, Jay? What does she do to annoy you?
What does your wife do lately?
Don't try to put it on me, buddy. You say it. But she's very good at, saying things and saying it in a way where it's not like, oh, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. Just say, hey, you remember to, she does that very, very, very well. And so I'm very fortunate that I have her as a partner to assist. Through this, and that's why the pressure is less because she doesn't put pressure on me. Right. She puts zero pressure on me. Any pressure that I have is from yourself, me. Yeah. She doesn't put pressure on me.
I think for me, having that level of pride, I think if you're familiar with, for the simpletons out there who watch like anime and stuff, if you're familiar with
who?
Anime.
Oh, okay.
If you're familiar with Dragon Ball Z Vegeta, I always say that level of pride, I think I have that. So again, the self-inflicting pressure, not the wife putting it on it. Right. My wife is a very simple person. She, like everybody.
You might have to say that differently. That sounds kind of.
No, when I say simple, like simple to please, like she isn't.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Like she doesn't need the Dooney and Burke or the Michael Kors and all that. So I don't have that pressure to do that.
She's not materialistic.
No, she's not materialistic, and even this entrepreneurial business, financial freedom mindset, I had to bring her on with me for that because she wasn't cultured in that way. She was cultured, get a great education, get a good stable job. For a lot of them, it was government jobs.
But that's not like NASA. That's Bahama State.
Yeah, this is redneck Canada.
Yeah, that's most people. That's most people.
So that security, right? So I had to give her a bit of a curve to kind of get accustomed. So it was patience. And now it's like, okay, I have the right person behind me. I have the right helpmate. I have the right team player. Now let's go and conquer. Right. I've said that how important it was to me. You know how it is important to you. Oh, yeah. But why is it, do you feel, that a lot of, and I just want to talk to men. I mean, women get everybody to talk to them and for them and about them. And we understand you're independent and you're doing great things. And that is great. But how important it is for a young man to find or know himself well enough to attract the right person.
That's of utmost importance. I think that's why a lot of relationships fail now, is because a lot of people don't even know themselves. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't even know how to please themselves. Right. So how can they please somebody else? And I think like a lot of people, if I could just say like most people, and it may sound bad, most people with the wrong people, Jay.
No, that's true.
Most people with the wrong people.
They
like,
settled.
It's like, they liked certain aspects or something and they just decided to start going out, and now they put in that time, and since they put in that time, well, we might as well, go do this or get married. But the reason why a lot of relationships fail is because a lot of people marry the wrong people. Yeah. And like you say, knowing yourself first is gonna help you to know exactly the kind of partner that you not only want, you need, but who you need. Yeah. You understand? And that's what a lot of people just go for, what they want. What
looks good.
Yeah, but what do you need? Yeah. Because it has to be a balance of wants and needs. Right. Because it's like if we just ate what we want, you know what I mean? Our health would deteriorate. You understand? So
and I trying to get back to where it's supposed to be.
So you can't just always go for just what you want. You also have to figure out what you need. And in my relationship, I think we're a perfect balance of each other. Right. We're what each other needs. Yeah. Because we're opposite in certain areas, and the other person provides the balance in that area. You understand? And so you have to really take stock of what it is you not only want, or what it is you need. But also, not everybody meant to be in a long-term relationship. Some people force themselves into relationships just because society says so. But let's be honest, some people ain't supposed to be
marriage.
No, they're not. They're not supposed to marry nobody. And deep down, they know it, Deep down, they know it.
And they just can't admit it
But
to
they
themselves.
just can't, I guess, I don't know if it's societal pressure or
It
what.
is.
But they just cave. And they know they ain't supposed to be with nobody.
Think about our society. Think about what we think about that validates a successful adult. Married, children, you own home, right? Maybe a nice car, and some money.
Good job.
Good job making some money. Those 5 things don't matter. So if you go against any of those 5 tenets, something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Something absolutely wrong with you.
Oh, yeah. And they'll tell you too.
Yeah.
You see these ask women all the time, well, how come you ain't married? Oh, how come you ain't got no children? And they bowl with these questions.
I remember I was like, what? When did I have Logan? Logan's only 3. So I had Logan when I was 34. People when she was born, people think I have hidden children.
Why? Because you were so old having your first one?
Right.
You had to knock up somebody earlier. Well, I started, it was 27-ish, which is, I think that's too late. But it felt late to me.
Right.
It felt late to me because, most people late knocking up children from the 19, 20,
I don't
early.
Know. I don't know why, because...
I think it's changing now. Like, I think in this day and age, we see a lot of people either waiting longer or not having children at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of changing, but back, years back, it was, people having kids early, like that's the norm. But I think it's starting to change now. They're starting to realize how expensive children is now.
Expensive and attention needy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it goes back to, if I could change the way that our society is structured now with only single female-led homes, I would, because you do need that balance. Men need to be present because we bring more to the table than just finances. There's structure, there's discipline.
Yes.
In some instances, and this is just by what I'm seeing right now, men are outdoing mothers.
In what regard?
Parenting. Logic, emotional balance.
Well, I
just for a moment. Okay. Let me take that back. Let me retract that before I get a bunch of hate.
Because I was gonna say
men are doing a lot better than we get credit for.
There you go.
I think that's
now
better.
I agree with that.
I think we get the short end of the stick.
Well, you know what I think I discovered what it is. Jay. I discovered what it is men, generally speaking, of course, not all, but men tend to not care. And when I say not care, I mean care about what the narrative is. You understand?
We allow too many things to just slide.
We allowed a narrative to be crafted of us by bitter women.
Yes.
Unhappy women.
Yes.
That say, man, good, they're deadbeat, they don't be around, blah, 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 blah. And we just, whatever.
And it became overly generalized.
And now that's what everyone expects.
Yeah.
And we just sat back and we just allowed it because, like me, like personally, I take care of my children. I don't care what nobody say or what they think about how I raise my kids or whatever. I don't,
Right.
But women, you can't say nothing about women.
No.
Because they will go out there, get their bullhorn, and they will tell you how great they are, this and that. And so I think that's what happened, and that's why men have such a bad reputation, is because we don't fight the narrative that's been crafted with our voices. We just do what we need to do.
That's what we do. We do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with the wife the other day. It was so trivial and so stupid. She's probably going to hate that I talked about this. But we talked about what we would get our daughters, right, for Christmas, like the different toys. And I believe they're young, so more plush than hard figurine toys, dolls, and stuff like that. And my daughter loves this cartoon on Disney, Bluey, right?
I don't know that one.
And I promised that I would get some sort of Bluey toy.
Right.
So a week ago, I got a contract, right?
Okay.
And I was like, oh, Amazon, Christmas coming. I want to be last minute. We talked about this. And I was loading up my Amazon cart, got some gear to do some production stuff, got the toys, sent. Didn't consult, didn't say anything. She happened to come in after I had just checked out, and I was looking to send the receipt to the shipper, right? And she was like, "Oh, you're buying stuff on Amazon? You buying the girl's present? Blah, 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 blah. Why did you consult? What did we talk about? What is the budget?" I was like, we talked about this weeks ago. We decided what we were going to get. Some money came in. I saw it. I executed. It's done. Am I going to put my name only on it and say it's just from daddy? No. We bought these things, right? That was an hour conversation. Wow. She relented in the end because she realized, because I use this trick now. And young men, go to this. Do you hear yourself? Just play it back for yourself. Don't worry about what I think about it. If you call yourself intelligent, logical, and empathetic, just listen to what you're saying, how you're saying it, and look at the situation. Eventually, it will come to you. You don't have to tell me sorry. Once you realize,
let's analyze, right? What was her real issue?
That I bought it without consulting them.
And did you guys agree that any purchases made, you would consult each other on it?
No.
That was never an agreement.
We have a standard agreement that we cannot spend X amount without consultation. But that was on for personal stuff. This is one of the first.
I think you're trying to wiggle out of this.
No.
You're trying to wiggle out of this.
No.
Jay.
My whole thing is this.
Was the number above the number that y'all agreed to?
For the toys only, no.
For whatever you bought on Amazon?
No. For my business, there's no cap. I don't have.
Not talking about what you bought for the kids.
For the kids?
That was underneath.
Well under the threshold for the Well,
so there's something deeper there. Because she felt some kind of way for some reason.
No, she felt some type of way because, one, she hates when I say no.
When you say no?
Yeah, she hates the word no. Like, she reacts negatively to the word when I say it because she feels that, in a way, I am, I guess, jerking a chain because she knows I read the 48 Laws of Power. She knows that I have these, she would call powers or whatever, that I manipulate situations or whatever, right? Okay. And it's true. It's true. I'm a student of that, and it's fine. And sometimes she's right, a lot of times she's off base, right? In this instance, I was just in a space and she said, "Oh, can I see the card?" And I said, "No."
Hold on, did she ask you to see the card?
Yeah, she the cart, like what I bought.
Now we getting down to see you left these things out. See, you just have to prod enough, and then you will get the true information. See, you left that part out.
I was a jerk for that, but eventually I did tell her exactly what I did buy.
You apologized, sir?
I did.
Okay.
But we came to a common ground that, hey, listen, I understand why you felt this way, but this is why, and this is what I do. If I see something to be done, and I have the ability to do it then and there, I will execute. I will not look for permission. That's how I was built. That's how I am wired. And it has carried us this far.
Well, it doesn't.
And it will continue to carry us. So sit down and enjoy the ride.
Well, let me show you. God bless you, Shah.
She's a lovely person, by the way.
Yeah.
Very lovely.
And anyhow, let me know again. But what I've learned is it ain't necessarily asking permission, It's just that they just want to feel involved.
Included. Okay.
So,
I can understand that.
So it's not that you go in for permission.
Right.
You could just run it by, hey, listen, baby, here's the situation. I see these things here, blah, blah, blah. This is what I intend to do.
So now you're gone from seasoned and celebrated businessman to sound shrink.
No, it's like, because, listen, we go through, life is about relationships.
Yes, everything is relationships. Everything is personal. Everything is personal.
Everything is relationships, whether it be business relationships, your personal relationships, your family relationships. Everything revolves around relationships.
I agree.
And I am just learning and growing. And if there's something that I've learned that I can share, I will share. I'm not going to say it's right. It may not work for you.
Right.
But these are the things that I've learned. They've worked for me. Maybe you could try it, maybe not. But I would offer those lessons that I've learned because it may help somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want people to be happy. You understand? I
noble.
really want people to be happy. I can't make them happy.
Yeah.
But if there's some way that I can influence their mood and make them happy or make better decisions, then I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to share. And that's why I was trying to, prod and see what happened with that situation, because you call it trivial, right? Because to you it was trivial.
Right.
But clearly it wasn't trivial to her.
Right.
And you guys spoke about it for an hour.
Yeah. Well, I could be exaggerating that it's an hour. It probably was like 15, 20 minutes.
Well, see, it was long. See, and that's the thing. Y'all weren't on the same page with regards to that particular situation.
Right.
And that's why you found it trivial, and I'm sure she saw it as something that was very important to her.
It was.
You understand?
Yeah.
And so...
And I got her perspective.
Right. And it's also important
Yeah.
not to... What I had to learn too, because I was... Listen, I was just like how you carry on at one point. You understand?
Are you softened in your age, sir?
No, I've evolved to take other people's feelings into consideration.
Okay.
Because at one point, I would do the same thing and say, oh, that's trivial, that's small things. What we have to realize is what is small to you may be huge to somebody else, and vice versa. And so you shouldn't just discard how they feel about a situation because you feel that it's a small situation.
Okay.
You have to take their feelings into consideration and understand why it's so important to them.
Okay.
Because there's a reason why it's important to them.
Right.
You understand? And it's important to understand, especially if it's your partner.
And this is the rules for that particular intimate partnership.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, and not just that. I mean,
I don't want to apply this to the world because the world is absolutely
no, but I'm not.
The world is on fire.
Not the world, but in your business.
Yes.
If you're dealing with your employees.
Yes, that's another relationship that you have to nurture very carefully.
Yes. So these are the things that can be translated into your business with dealing with employees and stuff too. You know, you may see something as trivial, but if they feel some kind of way about something, it's important to understand why it is they feel that way, and you all come to an understanding and common ground.
Right.
And that's why I say relationships are very important. So you have to learn how to navigate these things. Take a step back.
Yeah.
Come out of your own feelings for once. You know what I mean? Because we get wrapped up in our own feelings and how we feel something is that we completely disregard how other people feel about it. And it's good to just remove yourself for a little bit and listen.
I don't like to, with my employees, I don't like to converse with them when I'm angry. Like I try not to, because
as you should.
You always want to be even keel, level-headed, and very professional at all times. Right? What other things that you think, because everything is relationships, and you said that emphatically, what else for those that are looking to branch out from the entrepreneurial plane into business management and managing people, what else would you say is key?
Well, that's number one, because like I say, managing relationships, you're dealing with people. You have to, manage those relationships carefully. Things I've learned is, and this is from, between Gary Vee, Brian Tracy, it's like when it comes to hiring and firing, putting people in certain positions, they say hire slow and fire fast.
True.
Right? And it's, boy, look here. Firing
is so daunting. Listen,
one of the most difficult things I've had to do in my life has been terminating someone's employment. It's extremely difficult, but it's necessary.
It is.
It's necessary.
You have to audit your circle. This is audited because you're doing it for your business's survival.
Yes, you have to, listen, if this person is not fit for this position and it's detrimental to the success of your business, then you have to do what you have to do. And that is extremely tough, especially when you've developed relationships with people, because the very first person I had to terminate was someone that I developed a really good relationship with personally. We were like cool. I mean, we used to crack jokes at work all the time. We had a great relationship. But when I realized that they had lost their way in terms of their performance, and it was detrimental to the business, and it was causing issues with other employees, I had to make that tough decision. Listen, that thing was on my mind. I was consumed by, I have to do this thing, but at the end of the day, I had to do it. And there's been more than that, just one time, but that is extremely difficult. but it's necessary.
Yeah, because you know the importance. Because it's like, one, you've gotten to know that person. And then from the owner's side or the manager's side, you understand what you're taking away from them. And how difficult it is to find that replacement.
Yes, especially depending on, what position they're in, you know what I mean? And I can tell you now, I've never, no employee you terminate could believe or think they was wrong. They could never think. No one could be like, you know what, I did that to myself. Yeah, I do it to myself. No one that I've ever had to terminate has been accountable and said, you know what, I did not do what I was supposed to do. Never. And it's always seemed as though they would hold something against you.
Right.
But you have to, take that in consideration, be like, listen, they can feel some kind of way. However, if I don't do it, everybody could be out of a job.
Yeah. The business is going to go under because you're really, Yeah,
so that's another thing I would, advise people to, and you know when it's time.
Yeah.
You know when someone is fit and doing a great job,
Yep.
and you know when someone has to go.
Yeah.
When, and like Brian Tracy say, the best time to fire somebody is the first time you think about it.
Really?
That's what he said. He said, the minute you think about, boy, I might need to fire this person, fire him.
I would think that you would want to weigh the pros and cons and look at performance.
Listen,
it's like,
if you have come to that thought that you may need to fire this person, then you've already weighed the pros and cons. That's where the thought came from.
Okay.
You understand?
Makes sense.
It wouldn't have come there if you haven't waited yet, then you wouldn't have the thought to fire them, that you may need to fire them. But if you already have the thought, then that means you've
already evaluated what they are for the business and what they're doing that is detrimental to that business.
That's why you had the thought. You understand?
Okay.
And so that's one of the tough but necessary things that you're gonna have to do in terms of managing people, managing your staff. It all comes with the territory. You don't like it, but at the end of the day, it's necessary.
How do you keep morale high? Like what tricks have you?
Encouragement. You know what I mean? You encourage people. Before COVID, we used to, I would take the entire staff, the Fusion VIP, we go to the movies. Like you do staff events.
Right.
That's what companies tend to do. They have staff events where, some do competitions, they beach volleyball or something.
Right.
You just have activities where you involve all your staff to make everyone feel like, we're all in this together. That's one of the things. Encouragement, everybody likes, a little bit of encouragement. If they're doing a great job, let them know. You say it, hey, listen, I see you, doing this and, I appreciate it. That's a good job you're doing there and all that stuff. Small stuff like that is how you tend to keep morale high. And you have to have a good attitude. You know what I mean? You can't come into place, face mash up, looking upset. Because then they
don't want to work for you. You can't inspire them to do anything.
Attitude is contagious. Attitude is contagious. So if you come in with a, attitude, a grumpy attitude, an upset attitude, it's going to spread. It's going to spread, and that's going to kill the environment. No one wants to be in an environment like that. So you have to be mindful of that as well. So those are the things I would say, would keep, morale high in the workplace.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Watch your face.
watch your ugly master face. Watch your ugly master face.
Les Brown said, he said Abraham Lincoln wouldn't hire someone because of his face. Say, watch your face. You know it is. You round the place and somebody just looking all mad and stressed and depressed all the time. It's contagious. It's going to, have a toll on you. And so be mindful of, when you interact with your staff or even if you're just present, be mindful of your attitude while you're around them. You know what I mean? Because it's important. It is contagious.
What would you say that person that's in the valley of decision right now, they have a great job, right? They're secure, but they want more and they want that freedom and independence of owning their own business or being an entrepreneur. What would you tell them today as we move towards the void of 2023? Because I see so many forecasts coming. I don't even know what it's going to do. I don't know what to expect.
Well, I would tell them, first of all, be sure that is indeed what you want to do. Because a lot of people, they like the idea of certain things, right? So they see it, they see entrepreneur, they see business, because entrepreneurship is popular now.
Oh, very.
This is the era of entrepreneurship. Back in the day, entrepreneurs were the people you never knew.
Right.
You understand? But now we have entrepreneur rock stars now.
Yes.
And so it's very popular on Instagram. Everybody's an entrepreneur.
Instagram is a lie.
Yeah, well, we know that. We know that. But when it's all you consume, that becomes your world and your reality.
Right.
And that's what happens to most people. So they think this is what life is.
Right.
But it's popular. And so I would say, make sure the reason you're getting into it is not because of the popularity of it or the trendy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure that this is something that you were actually driven to do and you can't do anything else, because it's going to be a lot of hardship.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of hard work.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of tribulations.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of downs.
And you will possibly have to do it alone.
Yes. And the only thing that's going to get you through that is that deep down passion that you have for that particular thing. So if that isn't there, I would say don't fool with it. Now, you can try it if you want. That's your life. You do what you want to do. But you're not going to last, because it's not what drives you. The love, the passion for it isn't there. You're not going to make it through those hard times. And so that would be the first evaluation. If you've discovered that, okay, this is what you want to do, then go ahead, put together your plan, decide what it is you're going to do, and go for it.
And find Deborah.
Yes. No, don't find Deborah. No, because I want Deborah. I have too much people. No.
Oh, you wanted just to focus on us?
Yeah, but you say us.
Wow! Mind you, I shared the stage with this guy. Wow!
I just being honest, you know what I mean. I ain't gonna say my plans, you know what I mean. But yeah. But just go ahead and do it. Give it a shot. See how it is. That's the only way you'll discover if you actually build for it or not, is if you actually do it. So give it a try. You might discover that you are, or you might discover that you aren't, but at least you gave it a shot. At least you now know. And you don't have to live the rest of your life wondering, what if?
Okay.
Because that's the worst thing to go to the grave with, is what if. So give it a shot, you know what I mean? Like, even if you aren't, you don't consider yourself a born entrepreneur, but you have the curiosity, hey, by all means, give it a shot.
Do you still believe it's built for crazy people?
Of course. But we're all crazy, Jay. I could make an argument for entrepreneurs being crazy and employees being crazy. I can make an argument for both.
I think that's going to be another show. I think that's definitely going to be another show. I want to end on 2 points.
Okay.
Legacy. Mm-hmm. What is, because as a husband, as a father, and as a businessman, there are certain things that you want to leave behind. Mm-hmm. What is your end goal? Do you want to pass on the business, or is it financial stability and potential of freedom that you're trying to what is it?
It's kind of all of that. I want to make sure I have the freedom, from being financially free.
So this is about you too. This isn't just about your kids.
No, of course, because it starts with me.
Right.
You understand? It starts with me.
Definitely.
The only way I can do for my kids is I have to make sure I can do for myself, and I build up those finances to give them the best opportunities possible.
Because I think a lot of parents, especially, let me talk about Bahamian culture. They make so many sacrifices for their kids, they forget to live as individuals. And then they become bitter if those kids take and reap those benefits without showing a level of appreciation that they feel is they're entitled to.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's I always tell people, when you go on a plane and they're doing their safety demonstration and they're talking about the life vest, what is the one thing that they always tell you?
Deal with yourself first.
Make sure put on your life vest first.
Put on your mask first, and then you assist.
You can't help nobody if you're dead.
True.
So you must take care of self first, and then you're able to help your kid. Even before they tell you, even before you churn, put on your mask, and then you put on your child mask.
That's just like that weird old man. I can't remember his name right now. He's I think he's an OG like Gary V. He's like, people think money can't buy happiness, but you don't know where to shop. You can't save the rainforest without enriching yourself first. Like, if love did it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would already been done.
Right.
So you do have to take care of yourself first before
Yes. So finances is a big part of it, but I'm more concerned with impact, and not just impact on my kids and my family, but on society.
Right.
I want to be an example of somebody that started from not having anything, worked hard,
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
built it up.
You want to Drake in the Rolls Royce with the snow.
Yeah, well, I want to be in a Rolls Royce, and I ain't really trying to, snow kind of cold, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Impact on society.
Yes.
Be an example for people.
And this is why you're going to win so many more awards.
That you do. Well, I mean, those, Jay,
You're a very selfless guy.
You know how I go with those things. I don't
You
really,
don't like the limelight.
I really don't. If I could do it without it, that would be fine. And I don't give stock to awards and ceremonies. Now, I know they have their place.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like I said that night, I am very grateful, humbled, and I appreciate the recognition.
But this is what's going to push you to make that impact that you're looking for. People will have to recognize your work. No, and you do good work.
I think even before any awards or anything like that, people recognize when a customer comes in the store, or when they find out who I am and they're like, listen, my child loved, or I love this, and I come there and I do that. That's where I get it from. Mm-hmm.
That's another form of recognition.
Those are my awards.
Okay.
The customer.
You're just happy with the happy customer.
If I got just that and no kind of awards or acknowledgement or anything like that, I would be quite fine, because I'm not doing it for that. I'm not doing it for no awards or acknowledgement in that regard.
Yeah.
I'm doing it to provide products and services for people, and I want them to have the best experience with us. Good. And if they express that to me, that's mission accomplished.
Great.
So that's what I want. That's the kind of impact that I look for, to make people happy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To improve their day, to improve their life. And so I care about impact in that regard. Like I said, whether it be with my kids or society, and I want to do it the right way. One thing I always notice is, I name after my father, right? Mm-hmm. And anywhere I go and they see my name and they say, you was Greg's son? I say, boy, that's a good man. Everywhere I go, they tell me how good my daddy was to them. That's the kind of impact I want to have on people. I want to treat people right, and I want people to be able to say, listen, that was a good, honest man. He treated me right. He had integrity. Those are the kind of things that I care about. So that's the kind of legacy that I want to leave behind. So when my children go wherever they go in life and they encounter people that knew me and they find out that's my kids, they tell them about how great I was to them. That's the kind of impact I care about, and that's the kind of legacy I care about leaving behind.
Thanks for listening. And remember, one good conversation can shift the direction of change forever. Like, subscribe, and leave a review.